What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the next match in the Digimon Content Creator Championship. I'm back again with Steven. How are we doing, Steven?
I'm doing good. Happy to be back and ready to watch this game between JoDobbi and Danny from Team PPG.
Absolutely. Two well-known players, I'd say. JoDobbi is really big on his purple stratagems.
A little bit, a
And
little bit.
just a little bit. Danny, well-known player at PPG. So
Mhm.
this will be great. I'm genuinely curious on what decks, what exciting things we're going to see today.
Well, I'd be very shocked to see Joe not play purple. So who knows? After playing this format for a while, I definitely think there are some monstrosities out there that are just crazily strong. So hopefully one of these players is playing with that. And seeing the Wanyamon from Danny bodes well, I think, for potential monstrosities.
Absolutely. Let's take a look and see. Penguinmon. This
Yep.
looks like some kind of rookie rush strategy from Danny
Yep.
here.
Yep.
All right. And JoDobbi flipped his one egg.
Oh no. And is that a
Oh,
Falcomon? Okay, well now I'm confused because at first I thought security control with the one egg, but seeing the Falcomon is a bit interesting. Maybe it's just a way to activate yellow option cards, but seeing the Lucamon definitely I think confirms this is going to be some kind of security control deck versus some kind of rookie rush deck, hopefully.
mhm.
Uh, but if it's not, it could just be a blue deck that has nothing else to play besides Penguin. But seeing the Armadillo, I'm like, there's definitely some more zero cost things you could have played. So
Oh,
definitely going to be some kind of aggro versus defensive strat here.
I kind of can't wait to see what happens. The Falcomon survives, so big plus, whereas the freaking Penguinmon died. Which is unfortunate.
Irony.
And
Well,
there's the
and there's the
Magna.
Magna. Yep.
All right,
Okay.
so if we weren't 100% convinced that JoDobbi was on some kind of security control madness, well, now we know. Now we know. And he's got another blue egg now, Danny. Upamon being really, really good, especially if
hmm
this is security control, because he's just going to get all sorts of draws now, as long as it stays alive. Big F.
And a really funny thing too about this matchup, I think, and the hard part for Danny will be how to use how much memory Joe gives him because he doesn't have access to like 3+ copies of XVmon, 3+ copies of Davis, and there we see the Flymon coming out of Joe. I was actually wondering, I'm like, there's not really that many good removal spells that you can play as one copy, but having some security Digimon that could trade with weaklings, then give you aggro pressure back is pretty nice. Really good right here, killing that Armadillomon.
Yeah. That's actually really interesting because there's, it's you're limited on the security options you can play. But like BT 1.5 gave us 6 security Digimon. We also have Shademon. We also have Omnimon's Zwart Defeat. So like
True,
seeing a Zwart
true.
Defeat coming out of nowhere right now, that could be pretty freaking scary. Like absolutely. I do like the Puppetmon. Definitely giving me blue-green Rookie Rush vibes from back in the day. That's pretty exciting. Maybe a little bit too soon. Maybe we don't know what's in his hand. There's another security Digimon though. That's Shademon. Oh man, and Gaia Force.
Yeah, very, very big. Probably just to protect his Magna above anything else. Also, a really cool thing about Shademon is that it's a blocker you can play in pretty much any deck. And blockers are like few and far between in this format. So seeing it in Joe's deck makes like perfect sense. It's a security Digimon and it's a blocker. He wants to play a defensive deck, so it's perfect.
It's true. It's true. This is now the second match where we've seen Ken, freaking Ken. Like,
Yeah.
you never see it anymore in regular Digimon, but all of a sudden,
You
here's
never
Ken.
saw it in regular Digimon. No one played Ken in the real game, but when you need to have memory tamers so you can play cards, it's pretty important. And man, a second
Mm.
security Digimon for Joe. This time not trading because Gururu is a tiny boy compared to Aurora, but that is some. I mean, if Joe didn't have specifically Shademon, he would have game potentially here. So that's just like how like scary this could be for Danny, and not seeing any blue rookies to keep cycling through his deck to find better one-ofs than just like Positron Laser or Ken is pretty sad. But the Positron Laser will buy him some time, maybe protect his Auroromon from being swung back into so we can get another swing in on the next turn. Definitely like finding that balance between going in and like making sure he doesn't die himself will be like Danny's biggest challenge, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the Aurora still dies, thanks to a
Mm-hmm.
nice Eden's Javelin there. I think it's doing 6,000 damage, which is more than enough to kill Auroramon. So keeping it alive, unfortunately, didn't go that well. still, we're in an interesting situation. Got 4 attackers versus 4 security. And the hard drop Vegemon, actually like that a whole lot because it does attack over everything. It does crash with the Magnangemon, so that is a very solid attacker right now. Being 4 cost to play, really good value too in this particular situation. I hear JoDobbi's like counting his cards, and that's why he was counting his cards. Starmon for the
Super
perfect
clutch.
6. The perfect 6. Oh, so that's not good. And now JoDobbi has lethal on board. So
Yes, 1000%. And I really do like seeing cards like Starmon and Falcomon come out from Joe, because not only are these cards that turn on yellow options like Eden's Javelin, but they in themselves are just individually really strong cards. You can't just jam 4 Magna in this Highlander format, so he needs to find just high quality cards to throw in that will allow him to use his removal spells. One of them being a removal spell is pretty cool. And here, Joe's is going to go in and try to win the game off of security. Danny needs like a Miracle Flower Cannon or a Miracle Needle Spray, something like that, to stop all these lethal attacks. But Joe just does not care.
he doesn't. He's going for it because if he wins, he wins. Interesting
That's
how
true.
both
Security
players...
Digimon for Danny. Both players are just jamming those security Digimon, but I think for different reasons. Joe wants more cards in his security that do something, and Danny just wants more bodies on board for free. But that Starmon will be swinging in for game as nothing stopped any attacks, so Joe will be taking the first game.
True. Very, very nicely done. A little bit unfortunate, I guess, for Danny here, because the only security cards he checked were security Digimon. Like,
Right.
Maybe he's playing 8 in his deck, and 8 out of 50, the odds to see 2 in a row,
Stacks up.
Yeah, it could happen. Doesn't always happen, but it could. But both players on the security Digimon is really interesting because now it creates a little bit more of an RNG effect because both players have the ability to flip over, a lethal attacker at any point in time, or just an army of attackers. Like what happened here with JoDobbi, just kept attacking into security Digimon, and it let JoDobbi kill Danny that game straight up. So, I think we could be seeing a game 2 that could go either way, potentially a game 3. Who knows?
Right. The biggest question really won't be like what we're used to seeing between security control players and Ricky Rush players. Like, Joe could draw Ultimate Flare or whatever. But really, the question will become like, can Danny put up enough aggression through Joe's board to force him to have to only go for removal spells? And then will Joe run out of removal spells? Because if Danny is swinging with dudes and they're living every single turn, then Joe can't really just play dudes to pass his turn because he's going to take more and more damage accumulatively. And with like less cards that can actually recover his security, that's not a really viable strat. So really, he wants to just comfortably trade every single turn with Danny, having his dudes die to his security while he plays his own dudes. And then if Danny goes for like some kind of big wideboard play, then he'll go for the big removal spells or the big recovery cards to just stall an extra turn and then go in for game himself. That'll be like probably the big dynamic we're going to see between these two players. And it's actually really interesting to see that even if the decks are built way differently than in Constructed, I think the Highlander version of Security Control does have the advantage because it's the one that forces the Rookie Rush player to have the answers versus need the answers themselves, if that makes sense.
That does make a perfect sense. We got to remember that we are in a special format here. This is Highlander. JoDobbi has 50 different cards that could potentially screw Danny over. I mean, likewise for his opponent here. But at the same time, everything has to be considered an option. Like, you have to expect that at any point in time, Danny can attack security, and everything could literally go wrong. I mean, Danny started off this game great with a Davis revealing 2 cards that he can add. That was really strong. But that's a Mechanorimon against Rookie Rush, basically.
Against the Rookie Rush deck that only has 1 copy of Needle Spray and 1 copy of Flower Cannon maximum. So this will be a really hard thing for Danny to out. And even if he outs it, I don't think there's a single card that actually like kills the Mechanorimon. So it would be a temporary fix, if anything. So I'm actually really like hard pressed to say that Danny is looking good, even though it is just the second turn of the game. Mechanorimon is an absolute house against a strategy like this. But let's see how Danny tries to navigate this.
There are multiple outs. He does fortunately play things like Vegemon, probably plays Gorillamon. Right. Maybe the properly timed, Needle Spray Crash or Flower Cannon Crash, just to get rid of it. Because like you said, you really can't get rid of that card. You can temporarily bypass it. You can Needle Spray Flower Cannon. You can Positron Laser, maybe you can Aqua Viper or something. But that doesn't get rid of the problem. Like, if he wants to get rid of the problem, he'll need to find a way to, like, actually crash and kill it. Maybe he can do it, as long as this Vegemon doesn't die. Okay, so JoDobbi here. Purple Spice. Purple Spice? Wouldn't know him if it wasn't.
Cerberus security control. Only Joe would be playing this hodgepodge and be like, you know what? I can fit some purple cards in here. I will say that the Cerberusmon is a nice tech because it's 6K. It can hit over some stuff. And if he plays that hot tech or werewolf mode just to come and get that extra rush swing in for that bit of extra aggression. And then we see the Wizardmon too. Where were all these purple cards in game one?
Game one was over too fast, man. It was over too quick. We had no time.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, geez, the purple spice is happening, and now we have regular blue-green rookie rush right now.
Doing its thing, yeah. XVmon's a good card. Even when we only have one of it, it's still going to get hella value here, either protecting the Vegemon or allowing it to swing again and get in just some more damage. This is what Danny wants to do. He wants to put so much pressure on that the limited amount of recovery cards that Joe has, he kind of has to go for, which means he can maybe keep his board insulated. And maybe he has other cards that can help protect it, or maybe other cards that can deal with something like the Cerberusmon that can actually attack into the Veggie. Here's one of them now, Aqua Viper. It'll protect this Vegemon and temporarily get rid of Makanori and Aurora, so that way he can have just more turns of attacking. He could even attack with his XVmon right now. In fact, I probably think he should. Just getting 3 damage in a single turn is pretty good at just keeping the pressure on Joe.
Absolutely. The only way you win against security control is by attacking them. And now he has a very good opportunity before he redrops Mechanorimon just to get in some damage. It'll be unfortunate if he hits like a security Digimon or something.
Really bad.
Yeah, but really bad. Besides that, it'll look pretty decent. It's gonna die anyway, no matter what. Like Cerberus can attack it, right. Like security can kill it. Like this is just a good attack to have. I wonder. Okay, now they're checking security. I wonder what it is. Oh, Digimon. That's something we don't see in regular Lord Knight nowadays.
Literally in the first game, I was so amazed by Joe's deck, and now I'm just laughing at every single card I see. So Digimon, for those that don't know, is a 2-drop level 6 evolution for yellow that has on deletion recovery +1. You know how I said there's not that many good recovery cards you could play in a security control deck in Hylander? That's one of them. You could play it. You probably need to play it, but not the best card you could have. He only literally has access to it if he evolves on Magna, and we're seeing Gatomon.
That's a good yellow card. That recovers, that heals, good healing card, and
it's also
a blocker because he's got Cerberusmon. Oh man, he's got the purple synergy cards. He's getting.
We saw the Wizardmon too, which actually can become a retaliator with any of the yellow cards that he plays. You know, only Joe would play a handful of purple cards and justify it by saying, "Look, I have this one cat, so." It works. It'll come up.
I love it. Oh, there's the Bushy. They're playing the Bushy too. I mean, I'm sad to see that we're probably not going to get any Bushy GG this game, but you know,
your favorite card.
This isn't such a good board. Like Danny's winning the game, but if you compare boards, you know, JoDobbi really has this, and not to mention he still has Mechanori him on hand.
Right, yeah, it's not gone. So those, that Veggie and that Armadillo may look scary, but they're not doing nothing. This Cerberus could easily crash with this Veggie and get rid of the only thing that Danny currently has access to kill the Mechanorimon. So it's definitely not out of the woods yet for your boy Danny.
That's exactly what he did. He's gonna trash. And what's really cool is that it's a great trade, because he draws 2, discard 1. That's pretty freaking good. And now he has the ability to go aggressive. He's gonna swing with the Auroromon. Really nice. That's Weiselin. Oh.
Same thing as Positron, basically. It keeps 2 dudes from attacking until the end of the turn. Yeah. But I believe it's only until the end of the turn as its security effect, not till the end of the opponent's turn like it normally would be when you activate it yourself.
Well, absolutely true. It also has the funny little hammer smirk effect if you control something with Digizor. It's not Digizorption. I think that's
Digiburst. Yeah.
My bad. But yeah.
No worries.
No funny hammer sparks this time. It's just funny that you can do it.
But Danny does have Hammersburg in this deck, probably. It's only one of, but it could come up. You never know. A card that I think Danny's going to probably just hold on to as long as possible is Needle Spray.
Yeah.
He's going to try to build a board of just a bunch of different green guys like you're seeing right now. And then this says to me, I have Needle Spray, I have Flower Cannon. Next turn, I'm going to win the game. So Joe needs to either answer those 2 green dudes or kill at least two things. So that way he has enough ways to survive just by security. Because right now, the Gatomon actually is not a blocker. He needs to have a purple Digimon in play to make it one.
Yes, he does. He needs to get something purple into play. Yeah, he's now like presenting lethal. Until Spiral Masquerade.
Until Spiral Masquerade's a card. So he's probably just going to get rid of the two green dudes. I think he can only get rid of two Digimon. Yeah, so 6 and then 3 for the Gobbly. But he's choosing to leave the Lyolmon. Interesting. I guess maybe the thought process is like he can't go for Lobo unless he has Lobo, Needle Spray, and Hammer Spark, and that's a lot to ask for in a one-up deck. But I do think it's questionable leaving the green dude on board because Danny's going to have more blue Digimon than he does green Digimon. So the more you get rid of those, the harder it'll be for him to have outs to Mechanorimon like Needle Spray or Flower Cannon.
Yeah, true. Definitely a little bit weird. Maybe he just wanted to deny the ability to evolve on the Armadillomon. Maybe like not a bad thought process, perhaps. I mean, it does solve the problem of no longer lethal. Stingmon, interesting 1-drop evolution, basically for green. I don't think we're ever gonna see Danny evolve on top of it. But like,
that'd be hilarious if he did. But there we see the Kuwagamon. So if you guys don't know what that card does, it's actually a really sick card. I believe it's a 5 cost to play normally, and has basically a Flower Cannon effect when you hard play it. You can just rest something. I think Danny wanted to like save that to go for game or something to rest the Mechanorimon, but he just needs the body. Speaking of bodies, here's a free Greymon. This board looks really scary, doesn't it? But unless Danny has a way to rest that Mechanorimon or keep it from being able to block, it just stops everything. He's what I like to call an infinite blocker.
Infinite.
All he needs one.
All you need is one, especially against a deck like this. Yeah, he needs some way to get rid of or to Mechanorimon. Okay, so Chimeramon, another spicy purple card. I wonder what he's gonna pop. But most importantly, it turns Gatomon back into a blocker, which means unless he's got a Flower Cannon or something, it's still not lethal. And even if he does, he has to assume that the security can't damage his board in any way. Because if it does, it's not lethal anyway. So
right, because answering one blocker is easy. Answering two blockers... Oh, so we see the Ray of Victory coming down, which can bounce the Mechanorimon back to hand, and that's all Danny needs to go for game here. But like you said, Mario, if there's a single card in Joe's security that can kill something before it attacks, this is not lethal.
True. We're either going to go to game 3 right now, or there's going to be something in his security that can stop something here. And we'll see. Let's see. He's going to flip. He's not blocking it. Raремon, that's a nice purple card, but it's not going to do it. He needs something. He's going to attack, and he needs something. We'll see. Could be Gaia Force, Transcendent Sword, Trident Revolver.
Trident Revolver. Oh my gosh. Does Joe have the Tamer in hand too, just to be an absolute god? Let's see if he does.
I don't think he does.
No, he does not.
Talk about a freaking miracle last security check. Oh my gosh. It's not game. The game 2 is still going on.
We still have a game, but it doesn't look super great for Joe because even though he has access to the Mechanorimon that he could just play again next turn, he has to pretty much commit his turn to playing that probably if Danny chokes him at any amount. Yeah, so that's going to work. So now basically, if Joe wants to still protect himself, he needs to commit that Mechanori, which will give Danny 3 memory, and because he still has access to green Digimon, all he needs is the same outs he's had the entire time. Flower Cannon, Needle Spray, etc. And that's just game. There's no more cards in his security that can save him. So let's see what Joe chooses to do. I think the only play he has access to is just hard playing that Mechanori and hoping it's enough. But I'm once again proven wrong forever. We see the Lightning Paw to kill the Tentomon, get rid of all of his green Digimon, and I think that's a code crack.
That's code crackling. Oh my god.
Oh my god, I love Hylander Format so much.
So this card, it gives the opponent the choice to either they can choose to heal a security, or the player can choose to trash the security instead. So Danny has a choice now to either just take a security damage or let JoDobbi have an extra security, have an extra health, which in security control could be very scary. He could just be, putting a Gaia Force right there. That could be scary. Yeah. I wonder. This is a card I don't think I've ever seen play ever in my life. So like
in a lot of like early like 1.5 or set 4 security control builds, people were playing this because like it's another recovery card, and
Hmm.
there's not that many just like cheap cost recovery cards out there. So it's really cool to see it in this format, and seeing Danny decide to give Joe the extra security, I think is actually interesting. Maybe his thought process is there's no way I can win the game on the following turn anyway. I need to get multiple Digimon in play before I can do anything.
Hmm.
So there's really no point in just burning myself for damage. Then we see the Falcomon come down and the Leomon come down. So
Hmm.
that's 3 bodies, but sadly, still 3 bodies that are less than Mechanorimon. And now Danny has no green Digimon. And we've already seen him use Aqua Viper and Ray of Victory and Weiselin. And those are all cards that could
Hmm.
potentially out the Mechanorimon that he cannot get back.
Yep, true. We'll have to see. You just hard drop Tapirmon and then probably Mechanorimon. I
This
would
is just a percent
assume.
lethal, and only
Yeah.
giving one more memory to his opponent is actually really nice, just so he can have like a bigger board just to win the game himself on his following turn.
Hmm. He needs a miracle Danny right now. He needs like a 2-drop green and like a needle spray or a flower cannon.
Yep, and I
That's
think he's already played Goblimon and Lyolamon, so the only card he could have is Argomon, the vanilla from set
Argomon.
1.5.
Argomon. There is Mushroommon. He could
True.
Mushroommon.
Mushroom too.
Okay, can't forget about our lovely mushroom friend. Well,
The
like it's
fungus.
a fungus. But that's a very conditional 2-card combo in a format where you're only playing like one of each of these cards. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's not common. I don't know if he has it. He might just have no choice but to just, build a big board right now. It doesn't look like he has much of a hand either at this moment in time. Only a
I think he
few
only has like
cards.
3 or 4 cards. Yeah, both of them are very thirsty, but the overall individual cards that Joe is playing for his turn are just way more powerful than the
Yeah.
ones that Danny can play. Like he's playing blockers, dudes that can recover, dudes that can kill. But Danny's like, here's a vanilla. Here's another one.
Yeah, here's some vanilla dudes. It this is rough. I don't know what Danny. I think if he had game, he would have went for it already. So I'm kind of wondering. He's doing the table tapping thing. He's doing the
The
math.
math. The math. Yes, the universal sign for TCG math.
ECG
Yes.
math. It makes me wonder what cards he has in his hand right now. Looks like he has 4 cards in hand.
Maybe he's debating like what's the best memory amount to give him back, and yeah, so we see him going for the one. This maximizes his outs in security of being like Hammer Spark, Positron Laser, Flower Cannon, Needle Spray. If it's Needle Spray in security, oh my gosh, that's so good because you can rest
Mm-hmm.
the Mechanorimon and then add the Needle Spray to your hand, and then he 1000% has game on the following turn
Yep.
with his board. So he's just trying to make sure that he has all the outs possible to win the game. But here we see Joe just going in for game. That's a very good move on his part. He's
Yep.
going to swing with Taper first. Penguin, it'll die. He'll draw a card.
Yep.
And this is the deciding attack. If this Chimeramon goes unchecked, Joe wins.
Let's see. Can he get lucky? Lucky guy? Oh no.
It is a security effect, but it's not one that saves him. Gatomon, the pretty kitty, swings in for game. Joe winning with Gatomon makes a lot of sense. It feels just.
Oh man. Wow. What a freaking match. Like, it was another 2-0 match, but like seeing these decks in action, especially JoDobbi's deck, it's really colorful, really exciting. Lots of cards that work well with each other. And even just seeing Rookie Rush in its most primal form in this format with security Digimon and other things, that's a real treat, I must say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
Yeah. And I was actually really interested. Like, I actually thought the best decks for this format were going to be like the mono decks, like yellow. Maybe Rookie Rush would be super cool because there's so many good rookies that exist. But Joe coming in with a deck that I just never once thought of, just like doing pure security control with all the best cards you can play from all the main colors that have removal, and then throwing in some purple cards for the spice, for the extra advantage, for the retaliation, for the extra blocker, stuff like that. I thought was really cool. I think he was able to show off both how resilient the deck was and how aggressive it can be, given how he built it with things like Falcomon, Auroramon, and even Security Digimon, so that way he could close out games fast enough before he runs out of removal or recovery. Super impressive play by both players. Congratulations again to JoDobbi for kicking butt. And Danny, sometimes you just don't draw your outs when there's only one of them in your deck. So, hey, better luck next time.
Good luck next time. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that match. I enjoyed watching it, and we got more of this action to come. So you guys look forward to what's to come. We have many more games in this tournament. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the tournament. Don't forget to like and comment. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe if you haven't. Do that, and we'll see you guys in the next match. Take care, guys.
Peace.